that was one side of my church experience. The other side of my church experience is that in the 1960s, my church was the target of 14 weeks of protests by Christians because we had an explicitly segregationist policy in the
Wow.
50s and 60s. And so black and white Christians from Memphis tried to attend church at this church that I grew up in the 50s and 60s and were turned away because of the church's explicitly segregationist stance. And
Mm.
it, made national news, and it split the church. And the the church that remained was the group of people who thought something about what we had done was deeply wrong.
Mm.
So, in other words, like when I was born in the 80s, the church that I grew up in, I would describe us as being like in the recovery from racism. So we're like at the Racist Anonymous meeting, and we're like, "Hi, I'm here. My life has become unmanageable," that kind of thing. And so as a result, this church that had this seriously broken white supremacist past,
Right.
obvious, no debate about it,
Yeah.
um, was nevertheless bringing in people like Ron Sider and John Perkins to help us figure out how to recover from not just racism, but also our economic failures, because it's an extremely wealthy community, and Memphis is a very, very economically poor city.
Yeah.
So, when guys like Ron Sider and Dr. John, who wrote, Ron Sider wrote Rich Christians in an Age of Hunger, or Dr. John Perkins, who founded the Christian Community Development Association, these guys, when they came in, I was already committed to discipleship and following Jesus and figuring out what that looks like in the Bible. And they just like opened up the Bible. I'm like, look at all this stuff that's in here.
Right. Exactly.
And you're not talking about,
Right.
It's,
Well, it wasn't a, hey, I did this dissertation, read my
yeah,
words. It was,
that's
no,
right.
no, no, let's go back to Jesus. Let's go back to the
That's
to
right.
the scripture. Yeah.
Go back to Jesus, and really increasingly go back to the Old Testament, to God's design for humans and for the people of God, from the very beginning of our redemption story.